Hey guys, I'm JanetOnOccasion, and today we're playing the Total War Warhammer II Battle Replay. This one is another community cast. This one sent in by Sigmar Heldenhammer, which is unusual because this isn't Sigmar's lot, is it? This is Bretonnia, and they're in Egypt. It's kind of weird, but anyway, I'm not going to question it. So here we have Spearmen at Arms, load of peasant mob in the front line. I mean, look how spread out this is. This is crazy. A load of foot squires spread out as well. He has 4 units of bowmen, 2 over here, 2 over there. And Spearmen at Arms in the back defending them, and he has 4 Knights of the Realm spread out as well. He also has a Damsel of Heavens, and he has King Luin Leonka. So pretty crazy. His Greenskin opponent's kind of done the same. Really, you know, not quite as spread out, but still. Pretty cool army though. So he's got goblins in the front line. I mean, goblins will hold off peasants for a while. You know, they're all right at that. They can suck up some arrows. He's got a load of Black Orcs. Black Orcs are obviously pretty good against Bretonnia because, well, they're immune psychology, so they can't just get terrified away by, you know, any beasties, any griffins. And yeah, they're going to do pretty well. They're going to hold up, you know, very well. They've got good armor, which, you know, armor piercing isn't really, you know, a thing that Bretonnia is particularly good at. And yeah, they just hit really hard. So yeah, pretty damn good. Also, he's got some Savage Orc Boar Boys, and he's got some Forest Goblin Spider Riders on either side. So yeah, they're in there. And here you can see he's actually got Morgrove's Mangy Marauders, and he's got some other Forest Goblin Spider Riders. He has a Night Goblin Shaman for some little war action. He's also got the Arachnarok Queen, which is very handy. Just hits really hard. You know, Knights will just get stuck on her completely. And she can summon more spiders to go fight things, so that'll be really fun. Also, he's up by Skarsnik, which I think is pretty good. The anti-large bonus to Skarsnik can do a lot of work. But I noticed no ranged contingent, really, apart from this mobile force, which is interesting. Usually you'd have like the rusty arrows and things, but no, he's done away with them. I think he basically just didn't want more stuff to have to protect. So pretty cool. So we're going to speed things up. And the Bretonnian player is moving things around. As you're going to have to. I mean, this is ridiculous to have to pay attention to such a wide line. You can barely fit it on camera. And I've got the better camera mod running, so I can zoom out a lot more than other people can while I'm recording the replays. So it's pretty crazy. You know, got to have a lot of spatial awareness for an army this wide. So it's very interesting. So here, Spearmen getting a bit shot at. That's fine. That's what they're there for. Peasant mobs just hanging out, waiting. And soon the Greenskins will start advancing. So, yeah, a lot of repositioning. And you see the archers are trying to get good shots in here. Luin is making sure to screen, so if they did go for the charge, Luin could just get in and do some work and terrify them away nice and quickly. So, little probing, you know, going on by both sides here, just to make sure that none of them really get the advantage. But it looks like Bretonnia has the advantage for now, because that's quite a few, you know, spider riders injured, and very few peasants. So that's good news. Anyway, Knights of the Realm, they're working their way around the back. So, you know, again, more probing, but more pressure on more areas. And right now, I mean, the pressure is literally everywhere. I mean, where do you attack in this situation? You're going to get enveloped no matter what you do. So it's pretty cool. So here, the Forest Goblin Spider Riders did actually charge in, but with the archers, you know, firing into support, the peasant mob actually barely got touched there, which is pretty great. And now the overlapping fire of the other archers. Yep, as soon as you get out of range of these ones, you're in range of the others. It's pretty rough. So these guys have already been routed, which is pretty interesting. Pretty good, and all that's happened is a few peasant mobs are dead. So, you know, no biggie. So now here you can see the spider riders. They are trying to get in here now to try and get onto the other peasant bowmen, but again, Luin is just screening all of these units really well. But the Savage Orc Boar Boys, they're coming in to try and pin them down. But again, they're going to be a huge target. Boar Boys have no shields and very little armor, so they're going to be very vulnerable to missile fire should the Bretonnian player choose to shoot at them. So pretty rough. So here you can see the Forest Goblin Spider Riders, they're just lying in wait for now. They're trying to figure out where to go. But the Knights of the Realm, they've gone into lance formation, and they're going to make a move. They're going to try and get into this back line here. Over on this side, these Knights of the Realm had charged in, but they're a bit bogged down now by the Goblins, the Orc Boar Boys, and the Arachnarok Queen has come in here too. So more archer fire on this stuff. The Damsel of Heavens is coming in. It's going to do a... so Sword of Quran has already been procced by Luin, but we're going to see a Curse the Midnight Wind as well. But War is countering some of the debuffing, so they're still useful. But this is looking a little bit iffy. Luin shouldn't really be dueling a Ragnarok Queen. Ragnarok Queen hits very hard, and with War, she's going to have a pretty damn good melee attack. Yeah, 63. It's pretty scary. So, yeah, that's a bit nuts. So anyway, Black Orcs now coming into the rear, and the foot squires are not going to hold up against Black Orcs. They're just not. So one of the Knights of the Realm is fleeing now. A load of damage to the Spider Hatchlings here. The Goblins running away. I mean, they're just Goblins, right? Who cares? Boar Boys, they've been terrified away. And Lewin is a bit stuck in here. And now, unfortunately, the Forest Goblin Spider Rider Archers able to get in the back line. Over on this side, all the cavalry is basically retreating somewhat, because the Black Orcs are very heavy support. They hit so hard, you know, the armor of the Knights of the Realm won't matter. And here you can see the Peasant Bowmen are helping get rid of these Goblins nice and quickly. Over here, Foot Squires will deal with those Goblins pretty easily. And once again, Lewin has got out of the fight, and he's backing up his troops. So constantly screening, making sure that nothing of his is getting caught out too badly. And here, amazingly, these Foot Squires, they're in the thick of it, but they're doing okay. Spearmen at Arms, they were never going to last too long. And the Savage Orc Boar Boys, they aren't getting very injured. So that is good news, because that is a mobile, well, ish. I mean, they're pretty slow for cavalry, but they're mobile, right? They're more mobile than infantry. So that's a tool that he's going to need in order to start getting all these peasants shut down. So that's a bit rough. So committing to this big fight, it looks like the Bretonnia is kind of losing the fight against, you know, the elite units here. You know, more Black Orc coming in. The Ragnarok Spider still in good health. Skarsnik still in good health. It doesn't look great for Bretonnia in this engagement. They may very well lose this engagement, but it's allowing them to pick off stuff in other places. So you can see more peasants are coming in here. These goblins are going to get taken out. These archers are still nice and healthy with plenty of ammo. And now these guys can go on to the next unit, then the next, because it looks like all these mobile forces, they're just trying to get over here to back up this fight, because these archers, left to their devices, will actually get a lot of damage into these units. And look at this, these guys, nice armor-piercing missiles, they're getting shut down for very cheap. So if these guys get shut down, that's far less stuff they can fire into Lewin. It's pretty dangerous. It's pretty dangerous. So yeah, scary stuff. So over here, you see, yep, they went into the next one already. So that's more stuff is routed. Now this stuff can start moving up. All this stuff is moving up, chasing all of this stuff down. So it's pretty interesting. More stuff has rallied over here though. The Orc Big and the Savage Orc Boar Boys and the Goblins, they're coming back, so they can come back into the fray if they wish. And here, very, well, not very healthy Knights of the Realm, but fairly healthy Knights of the Realm, and a very injured one. Look at that, only 7 models left. So they're trying to finish this stuff off. This is another attempt at the Spider Riders to get in here into the Archers, but nope, they've been shut down. And now Knight Goblin Shaman's kind of on his own. And Lewin has got out again. He's pretty injured, but of course he does regenerate, so he can afford to take some damage to keep stuff busy before getting out again. So Sword of Charon is actually procced here, I believe. Yep, but he's not really in range of much, which is a bit of a pity. So maybe use that a little preemptively, or change his mind at the last minute. I don't know. Anyway, this Knight Goblin Shaman, very, very vulnerable. He's very much on his own here. There's a lot of Black Orcs here, but one of the units has actually taken a ton of damage. So that's pretty great. And more fire coming from these guys. But Spider Hatchlings. Now this is brilliant use of Spider Hatchlings. You want them just to shut down cheap things like Peasants, because they will actually kill quite a few of them, and they'll stop them firing. Although, more on their way. Over here, more Peasants rallying. The Damsel of Heavens, very hurt, but, you know, she's still in it. She's still in it. So here, you can see the Knight Goblin Shaman has been dealt with for the most part, but it looks like he will come back unless he's chased off. And I think that's what Lewin is about to do. So over here, he's trying to pull back with everything, but frankly, these Foot Squires are just getting swarmed by Black Orcs, which is never something you want. Another full health unit, well, almost full health unit of Black Orcs coming in. Very dangerous. The Ragnarok Queen shooting people, which is irritating. And yeah, here we go. Spellcaster should be gone soon. And the Knights, they're still having a whale of a time. There's not really anything mobile enough to catch any of this stuff, so they can just go from unit to unit, making sure that nothing can come back to the fight. And here, plenty of archers firing at the Spider Hatchlings. But you can see the Hatchlings did actually do plenty of damage to these peasants. So, not bad. Not bad at all. And it's got all of these guys focusing on one thing, which, you know, would be a little bit better if, you know, the rest of the Orc forces were able to actually pin some things in place and start fighting stuff, you know, keep attention away from that engagement with the Spider Hatchlings, but frankly, there's no other engagement happening. I mean, a few peasants are running in here, but that's just to delay this stuff. It's just delay the Orcs at this point while all these things are chased away. So Lewin having a wonderful time chasing all this stuff off. And the Knights getting ready. And a lot of archers getting in position. Looks like a couple of the units... Oh, no. More goblins coming in, so they can try and shoot them. And hopefully break them again. I can't imagine these guys lasting too well. They do have silver shields, but they're very injured. So they're probably going to get killed pretty quickly. And the other archers now trying to shoot into the Black Orcs, try and get a bit of damage in. But... I mean, Peasant Bowmen, these are just the standard Peasant Bowmen. They have very little armor piercing, so it's going to do a bit of damage, but barely anything. You know, it'll just help a bit, but not much. Anyway, this stuff is coming back in, so yeah, more spearmen just running in to try and delay things. More spider hatchlings coming in as well, but now there's kind of there's a pretty solid defense here. I can't imagine these spider hatchlings are going to get a heck of a lot done. So it looks like they're just going to be left. They're following it up with a charge, so while the hatchlings pin this stuff in place, all the orcs can advance and get into all the peasants. I think that was the idea there. It's kept a lot of units busy there. Suddenly the front line is looking a little bit weak. It's not looking half as good. So anyway, but there are a load of knights coming in the back, so these knights are going to charge in. Those goblins aren't going to stand much of a chance. Side charge into the Black Orcs. Lewin charging in as well. There's a heck of a lot of knights here. They're all trying to pull out. A lot of them are getting stuck on the spider, and on the, even just the Black Orcs have a lot of mass. But Lewin getting a nice charge on the Ragnarok Queen, and all of the archers firing at her. That was able to whittle her down very quickly. So the Ragnarok Queen is leaving, so that's pretty great. Still has a damsel here, ready to cast things. I think that was another Sword of Quran, was it? Yep, it was. So lowering armor and melee defense is pretty fantastic, because it lets the peasants actually achieve some things. The peasants will actually get the odd kill, because they'll be able to hit probably twice as often as they would otherwise. So anyway, now the knights can get beautiful rear charges into all this stuff. So despite the heavy armor of the Black Orcs, it's going to do a lot of damage, because they're going to get a lot of hits registering. Because with the charge bonus adding to their melee attack, and the fact that it's a rear charge means that it's diminished melee defense they're up against, they're going to land a lot of hits. So although the hits won't be doing a huge amount of damage, they'll be doing enough to punch through that armor. So that's pretty great. So yeah, now things are really wavering over here. Lewin, he's just been chasing off the spider, and unfortunately Skarsnik has kind of run out of schemes. He's completely run out of schemes. So, Pyrrhic Victory. So, it's kind of a cool one. It's great to see Bretonnia really just sort of stretching their opponent, you know, in terms of micro. What do you focus on? Having to prioritize there is a nightmare, because any way you prioritize, you're just going to have more mobile troops running the other way and picking off things that are vulnerable. So it makes it very difficult. So it tempts you to, you know, sort of go wide to match Bretonnia. But really, you need to be more condensed, really. So if cavalry does come in, you've got everything nearby to counter it, and you just need to push forward towards the archers to shut them down, I think. You can't play the wide game against Bretonnia when they can go wider and more mobile. And the fact that it was all anti-large stuff, the Knights of the Realm, they're actually quite cheap at 1,000. So for some anti-large cav, they're going to do great against any cavalry the Greenskins have. You know, Greenskins don't have the best cavalry game. The Knights of the Realm are going to be able to cover that bit. You know, they'll have it covered, which is pretty good. And then after that, yeah, if you're just picking things off one at a time, then you're going to be able to get the surrounds. And the fact that they're sort of mid-quality cavalry, it's not going to matter because they're going to gang up on stuff. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, really just force them to spread out, force them to make mistakes. I think that's really fun. So yeah, very, very enjoyable. So yeah, well played. So guys, if you enjoyed this, please do comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good day, guys.